Hi, I'm Katie Crane, and this is the Pilates Lounge. Welcome to Season 4, my friends, of the Pilates Lounge podcast. This is a space for movement lovers, Pilates educators, and Pilates professionals who want to think a little bit deeper about the work we do. My name's Katie Crane. I've been teaching Pilates for over 20 years, and along the way, I've worn many hats. Studio owner, teacher trainer, mentor, and lifelong student of the work we do. I'm also a surfer, an adventurer, a mum, a busy wife, and someone who believes that movement is by far more than exercise. On this podcast, we talk about Pilates as a practice, not just what we do on the mat or on the equipment, but how Pilates shapes the way we move, teach, lead, and live our lives. We explore anatomy, health, business, culture, and the evolving identity of Pilates in the modern world. This is a place for honest conversations, lived experience, and perspectives that respect both the lineage of Pilates and the people practicing it today. So thank you so much for being here. Let's dive into the episode. Hi guys, Katie Crane from the Pilates Lounge podcast. How you doing? Hey, listen, I thought I'd jump on today and run an episode a little bit off the cuff around a trend that I am seeing on social media. I have this love-hate relationship with social media. I don't know about you. I mean, I honestly don't know how many people actually love being on social media. But as a business owner, if you've got a studio, if you're trying to build a brand, if you're trying to gain traction, gain followers, let's face it, social media is free marketing. So I feel like for our industry as Pilates professionals, it can be a really positive place if we use it well. And don't get me wrong, like I have had my own ups and downs with social media over the years, and I've done things on social media that have not served my business or served my community. And this is one of the reasons that I'm here having a chat with you about it today. So at the moment, there has been a real trend for a little while, actually, I've noticed it, of people sharing on their social media handles, and specifically studio owners, so Pilates studios, small businesses, Pilates instructors in general. And this is what I'm seeing. People say things like, business is really hard at the moment. The government has completely fucked us over. I don't know if I can do this anymore. The cost of living crisis is destroying my small business. I can't afford to pay my instructors. I don't know how much longer I can keep the doors open. Now, if that is you, if that's how you're feeling, I don't want to detract from how you're feeling. Let's be real. Being in business is hard. Here's another reality check. That's never going to change. Being in business is always hard. Always has been. It always is going to be. Being in business, I've been in business for 21 years this year. I've had a studio open for 21 years. I know what hard is. Being in business is a roller coaster ride, my friends. It is not a linear journey. It is not like, I remember when I was a kid, and in my mind, I can see this image of you get your job, you get your certificate, you go to uni, whatever it is, and you're going to climb this ladder. And the ladder has about 10 steps in it. It goes from the ground to the top. And at the top of the ladder, then you're like the winner. You get to own your own company. You get to be the boss, whatever it is. Being in business is not that ladder. Being in business is more like a roller coaster. And even on the moments that you want to get off the roller coaster, somebody goes and puts another loop-de-loop right there, and you got to go round and round that loop-de-loop. Sometimes you have to stay at the top of the loop and you're just hanging. Somebody stops the roller coaster and you're upside down, just hanging there, hanging on for dear life. The deal is You got on the roller coaster to start with. Nobody forced you to get on the roller coaster. Whatever story you've told yourself, you do not have to be in business. I am not taking away from what you're feeling right now. I know what you're feeling. I hear you. I see you. I feel it too some days. But the story that I tell my community is never the story that is going on inside my head, because social media, being free marketing, is the best place for somebody who doesn't know me to get to know me when it comes to business. And if I'm putting out messages like, the world is coming to an end, I don't know if I'm here for the ride, I don't think I can do this anymore, I am suffering, I am struggling, I've had enough, things are too expensive, I can't pay my rent, I'm falling to pieces. Well, I don't know about you, but I would not then go spend my money at that particular place. And the deal is, life is always hard. The world has always been a fucked up place. It's always going to have crazy things going on in multiple places around the world, like any one time. So you're not telling anybody anything that they need to hear. Everybody knows that shit is getting hard. Everyone knows that people are out there struggling. But rather than be the person who is pointing at the obvious right now, what about this? Imagine if you were the place where people turned to because life got hard. And I know if you're struggling to pay your rent, if you're struggling to pay your staff right now, if you're freaking out because all of a sudden you've got to pay superannuation on the same day that you pay wages, I see you. I'm doing that too. If your rent has gone up because your landlord's rates have gone up on the property that they own that you're renting from, I see you. That's happening to me too. It's happening to all of us. But you know what? It's also happening to your clients. So the same things that you're suffering with right now, the same fears that you're feeling right now, every single person who comes to you is feeling the same thing. So if you're the person saying there, the sky is falling, the sky is falling, you think anybody's going to hang around with you? No. They're all going to run to cover in the place that says the sky might be falling, but our roof is strong. So rather than be the sky is falling person, maybe you could be the person who says, hey, I see that the sky is falling, but we have a strong roof right here. So if you want to come and stand under my roof, we've got you. Be that person. Can you hear the difference in the message? I'm not denying that the sky is falling. I don't even need to tell anybody that the sky is falling, because you know what? You want to look up, you will see that the sky is falling. So I actually don't need to point that out. What people are looking for right now is a safe place to be. They're looking for strength, security. They're probably looking for consistency, because there's nothing worse than having a lot of stuff going on around you right now and then going somewhere and that experience being very inconsistent. So be the consistency. So let's have a look at social media messaging and how you might be able to grow your business right now, even though there's a, what's it called? A cost of living crisis. Hang on, let me take a drink. And you know what? If you want a little bit of juice, try following my business is Encore Pilates and Wellness _NT. Encore as in coming back on stage, ENCORE. Our message is very clear to our community. They know exactly why they come to us. There's no fear mongering. There's no detraction. The only people we do repel people, we want to repel people on our social media. We just want to repel the people that we don't want to serve. And we're pretty clear in that with our social media marketing. But to our ideal client, and if you don't understand ideal client, then you need to go back and listen to the episodes that talk about building your avatar, building your ideal client. Because if you're speaking to everybody, then you're speaking to nobody, right? But when it comes to our ideal client, yes, we are speaking to, to their fears. We know what it is that our ideal client is fearful of, but we are speaking to their fears in a way that's actually giving them a solution. So they come to us because we are the strategy to help them alleviate their fears. So, for example, take it's a cost of living crisis, right? Things are wild out there. So, we see that you are stressed. We know that you're stressed. We understand that you're stressed, and we don't deny that at all. The best thing that you can do for yourself right now when things are hard is come to Pilates. Why? Because Pilates partly helps reset your nervous system. And when you are dealing with a lot of stress and you are constantly in this fight or flight, then it's very difficult for you to think clearly to know what you need to be doing. So come to Pilates, reset your nervous system, and leave feeling clearer and calmer so that you can deal with your everyday. I mean, I don't even say that, right? I'm personally, I don't think that I'm serving anybody by bringing up anything in the outside world that everybody knows that's going on, that it's not actually serving, or I'm not serving them in a positive ways. But I'm just saying, if you really wanted to talk about stuff like that, then give people a solution. Don't tell people how difficult it is for you right now and leave it at that. And then just be like, so please, I'm falling to pieces. So please come and spend some money with me. I don't know if I'm going to be able to pay my rent. So please come to class. Don't buy on Amazon because it means that I'm going to have to shut my doors. It doesn't stop people from buying on Amazon, telling people that you are suffering because people are choosing to do that. You need to figure out what it is, how are you serving your community, and lean into that. Does that make sense to you? I really hope that that helps you understand the importance of your messaging. So, what can you do to help yourself? Right? Let's go there. Things that you can do to help yourself, because at the moment, the messages that are out there is basically a cry for help. That's what I'm saying on these messages is I'm stuck, I'm scared, I don't know what's coming next, I need help. Well, guess what? It's not up to your community or your followers or your paying customers to help you. You are the one helping them. There are certainly ways that you could go about, letting people know how important it is for them to be coming to you right now. But please don't put out a cry for help and think that you're doing your business any favors. The people that you put out a cry to help are maybe a business mentor, maybe a financial mentor, a financial planner. Maybe you go and see, like you speak to somebody, a therapist. It's okay for you to go and get help. I'd be more than happy if you reached out to me and you asked me, how do I get through this? In fact, maybe I need to build some sort of community to help you guys through this. Seriously, this all comes from a place of love. It's not coming from a place of judgment. I actually do see you. I actually do understand where you're coming from. I've been very fearful for many, many years going through business. But the difference between somebody who stands up and says, things are falling apart, the sky is falling, and the person who says, come and stand under my roof, I've got you, is actually your attitude through life, and also the choices that you make on how you're going to show up. So you need to decide that. Who do you want to show up as today, and how is that going to happen? So if you're a reader, I read a lot of books, like hundreds and hundreds of books. Every single morning when I wake up, I read for 15 minutes. And it's not a fictional book. I love reading fiction as well. I often read fiction when I'm going to sleep at night. But when I get up in the morning, because you know what happens with your brain when you get up in the morning? like you're kind of sluggish, but you're actually pretty fresh. So it's the best time for you to get up and insert something into your brain that is actually going to move the needle for you or move you forwards. I can tell you now, it ain't going to happen if you're scrolling Instagram. So if you are somebody who wakes up in the morning and scrolls Instagram, you're not going to get out of the funk. That's a given. Hey friend, thanks so much for listening. Did you know that you can now find us on YouTube at youtube.com/The Pilates Professional? Now, if this episode resonates with you, please share it with someone else who would benefit from hearing it. Back to the show. In the morning, I would suggest that you get up and you do one of a couple of things. A, you get up and you move. Maybe that's like 10 jumping jacks or 10 push-ups or some light stretches. You just move your body. 2, you read something that is going to help you move the needle. At the moment, I'm reading a book. Oh my gosh, I can't believe I'm about to share this with you because I can't remember the name of it. But it's actually a book about the All Blacks. So the All Blacks, I'm not a sports fan at all, but the All Blacks are the New Zealand rugby team. And this is the story of them. And it's actually like, it's a fantastic story. As first somebody told me to read it and I was like, oh, whatever. I don't follow sport. I particularly don't like rugby. Sorry for all the rugby lovers out there. But this is an absolutely brilliant book. So one thing that I've taken away from this book is that the All Blacks have a rule that they do not employ dickheads. That's exactly what they say. We take no dickheads. So if you're a dickhead, you do not get to be part of the team. And in the story, the author talks about, that there's been some great players who have come through who actually had the skills that it takes to be on the All Blacks, but because they were dickheads, they don't get a look in. It's a really important message, actually, and I'm taking that message to my studio. But anyway, all jokes aside, every morning I wake up and I read a book, part of a book, 15 minutes, about 10 pages of a book that is going to improve my skills, my knowledge, my mental aptitude, my attitude. And that's just how I start my day. So if you're in a funk, then may I suggest that you start reading, my friend, because reading something that is going to help you get out of this funk actually will be a game changer. The reality of it is, people don't look to you as a Pilates teacher. And if you've been in this game for any more than 5 seconds, you already know that you need to be a social worker, a marriage counselor, a psychologist, a psychoanalyst, a priest, a doula. You're pretty much the hairdresser of the movement world. You hear everybody's stories and people are looking to you to offload. And when people trust you by offloading whatever's happening in their life, they do that because they trust you. They do that because they see you as a leader. So if you want to be a leader in this space, you ought to not be posting that the sky is falling, and you ought to be posting that you've got a steady roof for people to come and stand under. So yes, go read some books. But that's why I was saying this. One fantastic book, if you are in this funk right now and you can't get your head around things, if you've never read from the author Viktor Frankl. So Viktor Frankl, A Man's Search of Meaning, I want to say, is the name of the book. Let me quickly look it up. Viktor Frankl. Yeah, Man's Search for Meaning. So the deal is, Viktor Frankl was a prisoner in a concentration camp during the German War, World War II, and he ended up actually becoming a psychologist or a psychotherapist, I'm not sure, but he actually turned his suffering into a career. It's a brilliant book. And in the book, he talks a lot about how he noticed that there was two types of people in the concentration camp. There were people who survived and people who suffered. And the people who survived, like actually survived the concentration camp, got out of there, unless like they died of old age, but they got out of the concentration camp and they actually went away and lived their life, compared to the people who suffered. So they turned mad because they could not handle it. They committed suicide. They died of starvation. They died of illness, all the horrible things that happen in a concentration camp. And I don't want to make light of it, because personally I actually cannot fathom what that whole experience must be. So the fact that this guy has come out of there, and not only he came away feeling like he grew as a person, get that, it's wild, but he came away being and was able to take the experience of being in a concentration camp and really going through some horrendous things. And then he used that experience to help people who were suffering learn how to find meaning in that suffering. And this is the deal in business. Business isn't easy. It was never designed to be easy. You did not sign up to be in business because it's easy. There's something in you that actually enjoys the hard. And you actually don't need to be necessarily a studio owner or have a big studio. You might even work from home. You might be teaching Pilates for somebody else. Even the whole process of becoming a Pilates instructor and saying, right, that's what I want to do. You have decided without a shadow of a doubt, unless you haven't realized it yet, that you are not the norm. You are no longer going to work 9 to 5. You don't get weekends off. You probably don't get holiday pay, sick pay. You're lucky that you get superannuation. You should get superannuation, putting it out there. You should be an employee and you should get superannuation. If you're not, do something about that. But that's another story. But the journey of a Pilates instructor is not a normal journey. When I was young, and and I remember, I don't know what topic it was, but it was definitely at school, and there was a picture of a ladder, and there was a young person at the bottom of the ladder. That was meant to be the student. That was meant to be us at the time. And then there was a older person, an adult, at the top of the ladder. And the ladder signified all the lessons that we were going to learn through life to become the person that we wanted to become. Well, that ladder, or the person who climbed that ladder, is not a small business owner. And I mean, everything at school is not preparing us to be a small business owner or choose the life of a Pilates teacher. The schooling system is getting us ready to take on the life of like working in a factory, the 9 to 5, weekends off, expecting paid public holidays, all of those wild things that go along with working in government or working in big corporation, but not working as a Pilates teacher. So I have never identified with that ladder of me being at the bottom of the ladder as a student and then climbing the top of the ladder and being on top of the Empire State Building. What I do identify with is being on a roller coaster ride. And that roller coaster ride, I'm on that ride come rain, hail, or shine. I continue to be on that ride. But by choice, I got on the ride. And I definitely knew when I got on that ride that there ain't no ladder on that ride. I probably didn't know how many twists and turns were on the roller coaster ride when I first got on, but I can also tell you I ain't getting off. So you have a choice. When things get hard, you really do have a choice. Are you going to stick it out, or are you going to get off the ride? Because if you want to get off the ride, there's no shame in that. If you've had enough of things being hard, it's okay if you say, I don't want to do this anymore. Or if you even feel, I can't do this anymore. That's okay. You get to decide your path forward. But if you want to stick it out, and if you want to stay in business, and if you want to keep teaching Pilates, and if you want to keep serving your community the way that you have been serving, then please, my friend, don't post end of the world on your social media and think that that's going to be helping your business, because it's actually making what is already hard on the inside of you much harder than what it needs to be. Be the person who stands up in the cyclone and says, "Come to my house. I am the safe place to be. When shit hits the fan, come to our studio. When you don't know what tomorrow looks like, come and do a class. Let my class help you find clarity and calm. Let my class be the beacon of hope in what feels like a hopeless world right now." Be that person if you're going to stick around. But if you need help, if you really, truly need help, then sing out. Because I've got 21 years of experience to share with you, and I'm very, very happy to share it with you guys. So I tell you what, if you feel like you don't know where to turn to right now, you want to keep going, but you are sincerely concerned, sincerely scared, why don't you reach out to me? And if there's enough of you who reach out to me, I'm more than happy to put a program together, because I see what you see. I'm not doubting any of that. I know that things are tough right now. I know that life is hard. But I am also going to be there tomorrow and next week and in 6 months and in 2 years and in 10 years, because this is what I do. This is who I am. I will show up for my community. And if you feel like, well, because I guess my question is, so maybe you're done. Maybe you're done and you're going to walk away. And that is absolutely fine. No problem at all. It's okay for you to walk away. It's okay for you to shut the doors. It's okay for you to say, I've had enough. I can't do this anymore. That's totally fine. And if that's where you're at and you need to let your community know that, then by all means, let them know that. But if you want to stick around and this is what you want to do and you sincerely need help, then ask for help from people who can actually help you, but be the beacon of hope for your community. Because right now, that's really what people need. People do need you, and people are looking to you, and people will come to you, because when the world falls apart, the one thing that people need is movement. And Pilates can be that single defining place that they choose to turn. So be that. Well, I hope that has helped you today. And if you know somebody that this episode will help, please share it with them, because the whole point that I'm having this conversation is that I actually am seeing that a heck of a lot right now. So share it with somebody who needs to hear it. Share it with somebody who needs a little bit of help with strategy. Sing out. If you need help with strategy, let me know. I'll put something together. And today's call of action is a simple one. If you're not already following me on Instagram, come find me at the Pilates Professional, so that you can keep getting this kind of thinking in your feed instead of the noise that we talked about today. And if you want to know and see what type of what community I'm building in practice, especially in times like these, come and have a look at my studio, Encore Pilates and Wellness NT. I'm in Darwin. So there are two very good examples of exactly what we've been talking about today. Thanks so much for spending this time with me. If this one has landed with you, I genuinely love to hear from you. I'm Katie Crane, the Pilates Professional, and this is the Pilates Lounge. I'll see you next time. Take care. And that's a wrap, my friend. Now, before you go, make sure you check out the show notes. That's exactly where you'll find anything we're offering alongside this very episode and the link to subscribe to the Pilates News newsletter. Our subscribers receive free handouts and resources connected to the topics we explore right here. They're specifically created for Pilates professionals, movement educators, and Pilates lovers just like you. So, until the next episode,